Breakdown is presented by John's Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow.
All right, welcome to The Breakdown. Tom Giles in for Phil Perry this week. Ted Johnson alongside. And Ted, usually you're breaking down what goes wrong in these losses. We only have 30 minutes tonight, so we're going to certainly fill all of that in this 38-3 loss for the Patriots in Dallas yesterday. And when you consider that and some of the injuries that are mounting up, we're just hearing now that it sounds like a torn labrum in the right shoulder for Christian Gonzalez. And you got Matt Judon, who's got the bicep tear. They're both getting second opinions, but the plan is for them to be out indefinitely. How do you feel about this team and where they're at, just compared to the entire Bill Belichick era?
It's not great, Tom, not great at all. I mean, this is probably the lowest point in the post-Tom Brady era right now. And you can just feel it if you watch the game. It felt like that. And so they're going to have to dig deep. They're going to have to figure out whether or not they want to have a season or not. Everyone's got to look themselves in the mirror and decide, are they going to have a football season or not? It's going to come down to that.
All right, Mac Jones did have 3 turnovers, obviously 2 of them costly, that were returned for touchdowns in that loss to the Cowboys. Here's Mac after the loss in Dallas.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a frustrating part for me and everybody. It's just, as a quarterback, you have to play better. Every team that's winning right now, their quarterbacks are playing really well, so need to do better. And at the end of the day, it's all about execution on Sunday. So you can put as much into it as you want, but I just have to put a better product out there.
So what led to the decision to take Mac out with 3:41 remaining in the third quarter?
Yeah, I don't think there was any point leaving him in the game.
And will he be starting next week against the Saints?
Yeah, just so there's no point leaving him in the game, Mike.
So, Bill, was he benched for bad performance,
No.
or was he pulled because?
No, I said there was no point leaving him out there, so I took him out. Yeah.
I mean, the plan is to continue to start Mac going forward.
Yeah. I didn't think there was any point leaving him out there, so I took him out.
All right, so that was the reasoning from Bill Belichick. Taking a look at the numbers here, and there's really no way to sugarcoat it. Simply one of the worst games of Mac's career. Just the 4th time that he's turned it over 3 times in a game. 2 of those, of course, returned for touchdowns, and it was the 3rd lowest passer rating of his entire career. 2nd longest time that he's ever held the ball, and also the most he's ever been pressured, breaking his previous career high, which was just last week against the Jets. All right, time now for Board Games, presented by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow. All right, Ted, we're looking at the Patriots, their first drive of the second half, already down 28-3. Mac Jones already has 2 turnovers on the game on the day, and you're facing a 4th and 2 situation with bunch punch written on the board.
Yeah, so bunch formation. This was a 3-man kind of route tree right here. The Patriots love to do this formation, 3 guys in a bunch formation. Why do teams like to do that, Tom?
Well, they're trying to get open if they don't have the guys who are quick enough to do that on their own.
That's exactly right. So they got to try and create confusion in these bunch formations to hopefully get out-leverage the defense, okay? That's the thinking when you do the bunch formation. So the Patriots get man-to-man coverage like they're anticipating. The Dallas Cowboys love to play man-to-man coverage. It's a cover 1 coverage where you have a middle-of-the-field safety right here. These 3 guys are on these 3 guys. And the Patriots used 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers on this play. I don't like this personnel grouping because I just don't think at this position, Hunter Henry, he's a good tight end, but you need a more athletic, explosive guy at this position to run one of the routes in the 3-man combination, which is a snag route, okay? A snag route. But what the Dallas Cowboys do a very good job of is they lock this coverage. This DB has Juju, this DB has Devontae Parker, and this DB, Jaron Kearse, comes up and covers Hunter Henry. His alignment is they do a good job with their alignment. This staggered alignment, they're on different levels because in bunch formations, teams like to knock guys off of their coverage to get leverage and to get open. But they do a good job of staggering their alignment so that you can't do that, all right? So on the snap of the ball, Hunter Henry runs this snag route, okay? He takes this DB with him on this snag route. Doesn't fool him because, let's face it, he's just not athletic enough. But these 2 guys now are remaining on these 2 guys. Devontae Parker runs a 7 route. It's a snag 7, okay? That's part of this bunch formation. Devontae Parker, though, he wants to rub and knock off Juju Smith-Schuster's coverage, but he can't because the DB's so deep in his alignment that you can't hit the guy because it's a penalty. So he's a non-factor. When he runs his 7 route, he does not affect this DB, who now has coverage on Juju Smith-Schuster, who is just running a simple flat route, okay, on this play. The problem is Juju Smith-Schuster rounds off his route right here. He doesn't stem at the top. He doesn't think this deep, he doesn't really act like he's going inside or outside. Clearly, he is going to the outside, so it's an easy read for this DB. And here's the problem. Mac Jones should see that he doesn't get out-leveraged, should see that Devontae Parker doesn't knock him off his coverage and rub him off, and he throws the ball anyway, even though he's covered. I'll be honest, not the best probably play call with the personnel. The execution was terrible, and it was plays like this, so the interception happened right there. Easy interception for this guy because he was in great position because of the staggered alignment. Dallas Cowboys had an answer on defense for everything the Patriots did, and this play was just one of many bad plays that the offense ran in the game yesterday.
Yeah, Deron Bland, that was his second pick of the game. Mac Jones, another back foot throw that he had there for that interception. And Phil Perry, meanwhile, was a late add to the injury report. He's a scratch for today's show, but his report card right on time, and it's presented by the Massachusetts School of Law. Should not come as much of a surprise. After an ugly loss, he got some really bad grades up there. Wow, he got a big fat F for Mac Jones, and pressure or not, it was just a terrible day at the office for the Patriots quarterback. And for more on that, time for the Technique, which is presented by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. And Ted, first of all, just the back foot throws that you saw from Mac Jones, because it seemed like in the first few weeks of the season, he was getting credit for standing in and delivering the ball and taking the hit, but we didn't see that really on Sunday.
You didn't, Tom. And part of that is I've seen him in the past. Early in games, they'll send pressure, they get pressure at his feet, and his body clock speeds up, all right? And you can just see him get a little bit more amped up and a little bit more nervous. I like to say, like a cat on a hot tin roof back there. That's kind of what he looked like. And so a lot of times, Mac Jones it looked like he was feeling pressure when there was no pressure there, right? And so what he was doing a lot of times is you hear the term throwing off your back foot, okay? And I liken it to my old buddy, former teammate Drew Bledsoe, who would throw off his back foot sometimes. But Drew would get away with it. Why? Because he had a thunderbolt of a right arm. So that's why he could get away with it. Mac Jones, not so much. There was a lot of throws where he has to throw off platform, okay, where you can't step into it and throw it, okay, where sometimes you got to throw where you're off balance, you're not on platform, but he doesn't have the arm strength to do it. But there was a lot of times when there was a clean pocket, Tom.
Yeah.
And he's throwing off his back foot. The last throw he had there in the middle of the third quarter before he got benched, there was really nobody around his feet, and he had a streaking Walker, excuse me.
Yeah,
Devontae Parker, coming across, and he threw off his back foot, and the ball sailed, and it was an incomplete. Too many times he's throwing off his back foot. He's got to hang in there. If you juxtapose that to Dak Prescott, the Patriots sent a lot of blitzing at him, and there was a lot of throws where Dak Prescott was throwing the ball, stepping into it, and getting hit as he's throwing. As a quarterback, you're paid to make those tough throws. He's got to do it more. He's not doing that, and it's hurting this offense.
All right, let's bring on the Needham High School football team. 4-0 now.
I know.
Ted.
Let's go, boys.
After a win over Walpole this weekend. As we got
boys.
Nick, Joe, Brant, and Pernay with us tonight.
Good job.
And Ted's going to show us here in that bunch formation where Juju Smith-Schuster maybe could have helped Mac Jones out a little more on that play.
So there was a 4th and 2 play, of course, we all remember in the third quarter that was intercepted. It was a third turnover for Mac Jones, okay? And this is the play that we're talking about. So the Patriots did a lot of bunch formations, all right, boys, here. Y'all line up in a bunch formation. And this is Hunter Henry right here. Again, I did not like Hunter Henry being in this position. I just think you need a bit more of an athletic player, maybe like a Demario Douglas, maybe in this role. But nonetheless, it was Hunter Henry. Devontae Parker was right here. He was supposed to be the kind of rub guy to maybe get Juju Smith free. And the alignment by the Cowboys did not allow that to happen. But this was what happened in the game. All right, guys, you guys know what we're doing here. All right, so they're in bunch formation. I'm Juju, Devontae Parker, and Hunter Henry. All right, here we go. Set, hike. They take off. Juju Smith-Schuster just rounds off his route. He gets undercut, and then interception, not all the way. He gets tackled right there. if you're going to run that flat route in that bunch formation, this is what you got to do. All right, boys, line it up. You got to sell to that DB that's got you man-to-man. Nick's got me man-to-man. You got to make that DB think you're doing something other than just don't give away what your route is, okay? So this is probably what Juju Smith should have done. Here we go. Set, hike. As these guys clear out, you got to make this DB think that you can go that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. And if you're going to do that, you got to stem at the top of your route, stem it, plant, sell like you're going to go inside, and then boom, outside, turn, get the yards you need. It's little things like that that are going to make the difference on this team. And these are things that usually get done when you rep with the quarterback, work with the quarterback, and put in a little bit of extra time. It doesn't look like they're doing those small things, Tom. And so the detail's been lacking, and it's affecting the wins and losses for this team.
And that's how you turn the ball over right away there in the beginning of the third quarter, first drive of that third quarter. All right, guys, thank you. We got more coming up with these Needham Rockets after this. Coming up at 6:30. Tune in for our Bell Early Edition with Trendy, as Trendy Casey's going to have much more on the Patriots. Just devastating loss yesterday to the Cowboys, Ted. And we'll also have a full wrap-up from Celtics Media Day. Meanwhile, coming up, what is the Patriots defense waiting for? Because another slow start, that led to another big deficit. So why can't the Pats defense get in gear? Ted's going to explain when the breakdown returns. So the Patriots offense rightfully getting its fair share of criticism. Ted Johnson not letting the defense off the hook, and with reason, because in each of the Patriots' 3 losses, you had the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Cowboys. They've all jumped all over New England with an opening drive field goal, followed by a touchdown on the second drive. What's up with that, Ted? What is up with the slow starts for this defense?
That's a good question. I mean, it would happen last year, too. I mean, this defense will give up early points, and then they figure it out, they make adjustments, and then they settle in and start doing their thing. But giving the early points to the opponent does not put yourself in a good position for the rest of the game, particularly with the kind of offense they have. And so they have to come out and play better and not maybe so conservative. They're a little bit conservative early in games to kind of feel out the opponent. Pin your ears back and be more aggressive in your play calling, and I think that will help.
It seemed like they even got bailed out with the fact that Dak Prescott and Tony Pollard ran into each other on that third down play. So that led to the field goal, but missed tackles, missed coverages all over the place first couple of drives. One of the reasons, though, for the Cowboys' success on offense, it's the Patriots' inability to get home with the blitz. Dak Prescott had a good day, whether he was under pressure or not. Patriots simply could not put enough pressure on him. Prescott's passer rating when the Patriots blitzed, it was a whopping 114.3. And for more on that, time to go back to the drawing board. All right, another edition of Board Games here, brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow. And Ted, we're looking at late in the first quarter. Game's actually still tied. The Patriots still have Christian Gonzalez. They still have Matt Judon. And it feels like this thing could be competitive, but we're talking about the blitz situation here, and the Patriots blitzing on more than half of Dak's dropbacks, but can't get home, seems to be the story.
Yeah. The Patriots, they have a lot of exotic blitzes that they like to execute. I've been talking about this all summer. If you're gonna blitz as much as the Patriots are gonna do it, you got to get home more than they have. I mean, only sacking Dak 2 times. That's not good enough, okay? And the play that we're talking about right here, this was just a simple play on the second drive of the game for the Dallas Cowboys, where they scored a touchdown. First down and 10. The Patriots were blitzing a lot on first down and third down, okay? But we're going to focus on this side of the field, okay? And this is a concept that the Miami Dolphins were doing to the Patriots defense, is motioning out and really focusing on empty backfields, 2 men weak out of empty backfields, okay? They're lined up in the backfield at first. He motions out, but here's what the Patriots have. They're in cover 0, okay? They're bringing more rushers than they have blockers, and so it's man across the board. So what the Dallas Cowboys do, that the same thing the Miami Dolphins did, is they motion this running back out of the backfield to make sure the Patriots are in what they anticipate being man-to-man coverage, and they are. So when this running back goes behind the quarterback, you see Jabril Peppers take off as well, okay? So that tells Dak, boom, it's man-to-man. Now I got what I want. And before this running back even stops to even set his feet, he motions out over here. The ball is snapped, and you see Jabril Peppers flying out to the flat to cover him, okay? So what does that do? That triggers a hot read to Michael Gallup right here, the wide receiver, who is being covered by Christian Gonzalez right here. So this is the blitz, though. So that's the coverage. The blitz is right here. You have Zalai Tavai coming right through the B gap right here. Barmore slants this way. The whole D-line slants this way. Everybody's coming this way. This hole opens up right here. So the quarterback knows that he doesn't have enough blockers for the rushers, so the ball's got to come out fast. And so when this running back swings out here and Jabril Peppers goes flying out here, it opens up a little space right here for Michael Gallup to settle to catch the ball right here. So if you're not going to get home on your blitz, then this guy covering, Christian Gonzalez, has got to be a little bit tighter in his coverage, in my opinion, to make a play on the ball. The ball is thrown as Chavai's hitting Dak right here. Dak does a great job of standing in there, throwing the ball, getting hit. Makes a nice little throw to Michael Gallup here for a 9-yard gain. Christian Gonzalez does a good job of coming up and making the tackle. The problem is these blitzes aren't getting home, Tom, and so they got to do a better job of timing these things up so that they can hit the blitz at the snap of the ball, so they can get to the quarterback, so that he doesn't have time to throw to this hot read right here. That and maybe tighter coverage on these plays so that they can maybe break the ball up when the ball is thrown. But it's these blitzes that the Patriots were doing and the hot reads off of it that not only the Miami Dolphins hurt them with, but the Dallas Cowboys did yesterday. The Patriots defense, they want to be an exotic blitz team, but they're just not having success hitting their blitzes and getting home. They got to improve on that if they're going to be top 5 defense like they want to be.
Well, if you think that, Dallas is looking at film and seeing what Miami did, now it's on film with a couple opponents here, so kind of wonder what happens with the next 13 games for their opponents. And, of course, we talked about the injuries off the top of the show, but making matters worse is the fact that you have major injuries to your 2 best players. Matthew Judon reportedly the lower bicep tendon tear. He's expected to miss months. It looks like Christian Gonzalez also has a torn labrum in his right shoulder. That's the recent reporting on that. So they could be without those guys for quite a while. And you've got the New Orleans Saints coming up. And let's get into another technique right now, which is presented by Shaw's Perfecting the Art of Fresh. We have Pernay, Brant, and Joe back up here with us from the Needham Rockets. And we're looking at the play that occurred right after Christian Gonzalez was taken out of the game.
That's it, Tom. And so if, Dak Prescott, a smart quarterback, he knows the best quarterback for the Patriots just went out with an injury. All right, I'm going to look to who replaces him. I'm going to look to that side of the field and see who replaces him. And it was Miles Bryant on CeeDee Lamb, not the best matchup for Miles Bryant, okay? But Miles Bryant, it's cover 1. He's got man-to-man on CeeDee Lamb out here wide. He's got middle-of-the-field safety on this play, okay? And so they kind of leave him out a little bit on an island because the free safety in the middle of the field is kind of detached away from the play here. Here's what happened on the play. CeeDee Lamb, a big wide receiver, Miles Bryant, he decides to get up and press coverage, okay? So if you're going to get up, this is what happens when he gets up and press coverage. Go ahead, Brant. Here we go. Said hike. He does a jump cut. He all his weight goes more to the inside because he takes the bait on the inside, and then he turns to catch up, but it's a little bit too late. And it was only a split second that he was behind, but that's enough, okay? All right, let's go back. This is what Miles Bryant is going to do. If you're going to cover a guy like a CeeDee Lamb, if you're going to get up tight, you better at the snap of the ball. All right, here we go. Brant said, hike, get your hands on him. You got to be physical. You got to hit him. You got to make sure you disrupt his timing at the start of the play if you're going to get up here and press man. If you're going to not get up here and press man against a guy that's clearly a better athlete than you, then you got to step back, come back, and then cover him at deeper in the route. Go ahead, Brant. At the snap of the ball, if you're going to backpedal, turn, and then catch up with him later in the route. Either get him at the beginning of the route or get him at the end of the route, but you better not miss him like he did at the beginning of the route and gave up a touchdown. That was a killer, and that's what these young corners, now that Christian Gonzalez isn't there, they're going to have to make sure they get better technique in their press coverage if they're going to have success.
All right, again, they've got the Saints coming up, which means Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, so they're going to need their defensive backs to step up to it. Again, congrats on the win. You guys 4-0. The Needham Rockets here
tonight.
Ready to go, boys. Big one this weekend going up against Milton, so good luck. Good luck. All right, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Tune in for Quick Slants. Tommy Kern going to be sharing his takes on the Patriots after their loss to the Cowboys. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Coming up next, what can Bill O'Brien do to fix the Patriots' broken offense? It is a question that everyone has and nobody seems to have the answer to. We'll see if Ted Johnson does when we break out the Monday Night Spotlight after the break. All right, entering Monday Night Football, the only team scoring less than the Patriots this season was the Bengals, and the Patriots averaging just 14 points per game this year. Not even 14. They've scored less each week than the week before. They've now got 14 straight games scoring 27 points or fewer, so the offense really is not there. Monday Night Spotlight presented by TouchView Interactive Display Panels, available at the Oakers Company. And Ted, how do you get this offense going? Because, Joe Judge had the sweatshirts, no one's coming.
Right.
And they don't really have anyone coming offensively to help them out. So how do you get this thing going?
You know what? Schematically, there's not a whole lot more you can do. And obviously, personnel-wise, there's not a whole lot more you can do. You know what I would do? If I'm Bill O'Brien or I'm Bill Belichick, I'm taking the guys on offense and I'm taking them out to Outback Steakhouse, and we're all going to sit down. We're going to get pictures of beer. We're going to have a nice steak. We're all going to just hang out, be together, and we're going to get to know each other, and we're going to try and form some bonds. These guys aren't together. Football's an emotional game time. You got to like the guys that you're with. It's the most interdependent sport there is. So me to do my job, you have to do yours. So you got to like these guys. Get these guys together. Get them together and I don't know, hang out, and so that they can build some trust and confidence in each other. To me, it's that simple. There's nothing else they can do scheme-wise, personnel-wise to improve, but they can improve if they all are pulling in the same direction and are on the same page.
Speaking of trust, do you think that the players trust these coaches right now in the spot that they're in?
It's clearly the biggest problem on this team. There's distrust. It goes all the way back to the summertime, and it's still now. Right now, they are not buying what Bill Belichick is selling, and that is the key to Bill Belichick's success. He has to get buy-in from his guys. If he doesn't, it looks the way it does right now.
All right, and that's why they're 1-3, and again, coming off that 38-3 loss to the Cowboys. Saints coming up next weekend back at home, so we'll have that for you. And, of course, Phil Perry will be back on The Breakdown with Ted Johnson. I'm Tom Giles. Thanks for putting up with me.
Of course.
All right,
me, bud.
Have a good one.